Hey guys, it's me, Mighty the Armadillo here, and I'm from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, and it's the time of the year again, ladies and gentlemen. It is now gonna be the next Mario Party redo Let's Play. And the fact that we still ended up spending time in the summer, so I figure I was able to do this particular Mario Party installment during the next season. And that is, well, Mario Party 5. And as you can see, as you can tell, there isn't any cinematic cutscene or stuffing like that, because instead all we got is just basically just a montage of, well, the actual game board itself. And as you can see, they're playing Pirate Dream, which happens to be my favorite board in the game, which we'll talk more about that and during at some point in the future. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we'll present you Mario Party 5. This game came out in 2003 for the Nintendo GameCube, and then as you guys should know, this is the second Mario Party game to be released on the GameCube system. So even then though, despite how most fans might find this to be a mixed bag Mario Party game, but we'll talk more about that as soon as we dive right in. So either way though, with that being said, let's get this thing to it with Mario Party 5. And obviously, that much like Mario Party 3 and Mario Party 4, that we actually have ourselves the file selection as you can see on screen. And I'm gonna say, I do really enjoy this particular music in the background because it's so peaceful and relaxing at the same time. Even though that it does remind me of, well, I don't know how do I usually explain about this, potentially speaking, but either way though, as you can tell, I'm playing this on my GameCube hardware, which, much like Mario Party 4, that I basically just managed to able to use the AV to HDMI converter, so you can definitely get the idea about the better picture quality and stuff like that. So anyways, let's dive right in, and as you can see on this main menu, there we go, ourselves these familiar star faces, or to be more specifically, star spirits from the likes of Paper Mario. So you see those little familiar faces right here. So usually because of this though, this game came out 3 years after the release of Paper Mario, aka Mario's Story in Japan, so it is kind of fascinating and cool at the same time to see those star spirits as the hosts in Mario Party 5. So yeah, potentially speaking for main menu and also party mode, story mode, super duel mode, bonus mode, and also same applies to option mode and minigame mode. So and of course, much like the forms of the past Mario Party Let's Plays that we have done, we'll show those off later on because the main focus for now on is party mode. So in this case, that the Eld Star is going to be the host in party mode. So yeah, let's dive right in. So Christ, it has been a while since I did manage to able to touch this game after all, so either way though. Yeah, from the start though, you can able to actually choose between Battle Royale, which is self-explanatory, or you can able to actually compete against each other in team match, which thankfully is a little bit better than the forms of how it does it on Mario Party 4, just because in Mario Party 4, it's divided into like 4 separate players, with each that have their different color coding into them. So, at least even then though, that is usually becomes more likely 2 characters in one team, and also they got some very interesting names as well for the team, so, but let's not get ahead of ourselves for this point, because obviously what the main focus is Battle Royale, and of course I'm going to be playing this on my own, and I'm going to be faced off against with those 3 computer players, as you can see. And as for character roster in this game this time around, is that, where's Donkey Kong? Oh, wait a second, he's no longer going to be playable, unless there was actually that one mode that you can technically play as him, but we'll show that off at some point in the future, because for now, we still have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Wario, Daisy, and Waluigi, but the newest 3 playable characters in the lineup that is actually introduced in this title, that is Toad, my main, Boo, and Mini Bowser, aka Koopa Kid in North America. So, yeah, it's nice to have those 3 as the main playable characters here, even though technically their first ever playable debut with those 3 was technically in Mario Party 4 Beach Volley Frolly minigame in the extras room, but now those 3 playable characters are now fully playable, the only exception being Koopa Troopa and Shy Guy until Mario Party 9, and Bowser until specifically Super Mario Party, or technically Mario Party 10, even though you can only play as Bowser in 2 modes, which is Bowser Party and Amiibo Party. But either way though, yeah, let's get this thing to it. I managed to decide to select Toad for the first board. And as for computer players' choices, I'm gonna go for Mini Bowser, aka Koopa Kid, and Peach, and finally we'll go for Wario. And as for the computer players' difficulty choice, we'll go for normal mode. So, because we'll fill up for the challenge. So, and as you can see, we have 7 boards to choose from. Or even then though, normally you start things off with 6 boards. But in this game throughout, that you do able to get 7 boards. Like, you get 6 from the start, and then 1 unlockable board. So we have Toy Dream, Rainbow Dream, Pirate Dream, Undersea Dream, Future Dream, Sweet Dream, and the last one of the bunch, Bowser Nightmare. And this is actually the unlockable board, and to unlock that board, you have to play through story mode at least once. So, you know, much like how it does in Mario Party 3 and Mario Party 4. So, yeah, it's not much else for this point right here. So anyways, let's begin with the first board in the game, which appears to be Toy Dream. And as usual, 20 turns, and all mini-games, and also all the bonus stars turn on, and of course, no handicaps, because unlike Maxi 10 version of this Let's Play, that he just somehow incredibly become cheating. So because of that though, yeah, I just feel like doing this the actual, you know, the normal method. So, and here we are, onto the forms of the very first board in Mario Party 5, which appears to be by the forms of, well, Toy Dream, which is filled to the brim with all these toys, toy blocks, and also, most importantly, that, well, this place is huge. So anyways, as always, we'll do the turn order, which as you can see, I'm now on second, so at least I pretty much guess that's a really good start for this point. And yeah, it looks like Mini Bowser's going to go first, and then Peach is actually in 4th or last, and then Wario, he's in 3rd, so even then no. And also you still get 10 coins before you start the game, and also we get ourselves the DK space. So yeah, and every time whenever you get into one of those boards, the DK space will randomly pop up in the different portions of the board. So for instance, DK space is actually on those little rooftops, as you can see on screen. And yeah, it will continue that tradition until Mario Party 6 and 7, and even Mario Party 8, and eventually Mario Party 9. But it actually did something a little bit different when it comes to those games, because normally in Mario Party 5, I'll get into more details about that in a moment, because let's get into the actual main emphasis on Toy Dream. And as you can see, that you still got the blue spaces, which kind of does the same thing as the past games, in addition with the red spaces, which also does the same thing too, and also happening spaces, which cause certain things will happen. And you notice there are some missing spaces throughout, which are battle space minigame, or the battle minigame space is no longer present. And also is the fact that, well, we already mentioned this before, that the Bowser space do make a return from the likes of, well, you know what I mean. I do apologize for the actual commentary right there, but yeah, the Bowser space is back, and now we have the new DK space, which, we'll talk more about that if someone lands on it. So, yeah, with those happening spaces right there in Toy Dream, one of them will able to take you to 2 different train stations, usually from the bottom or the top. And there's also another one which, if you manage to able to land on top of that specific present, that you'll be able to fly through different spots of the board. And finally, if you manage to land on that happening space right where the Mecha Bowser is, and basically this allows you to able to blast you back all the way up to the starting location of the board. So and of course Wario's gonna have himself a good start, because, well, obviously he's gonna land on that happening space, of course. In addition to that, he will able to try to get more coins for that. So that might be a good move for Wario in this case. So yeah, a few things we want to explain about this before we're able to discuss more about the forms of Mario Party 5. Today's day is, of course, the 5th of June today, in this case in 2021, and it looks like we only got about 10 more days to go until E3 2021. Like, to be more specifically, focusing on digital events, which, let me know in the comments below if, are you excited for this year's E3? until the next 10 days time, because surely I am. Especially noticeable that I'm really looking forward to see some new announcements in regards of the forms of, this year's E3, whilst despite the fact that the actual, the live thing, like, to be more specifically, that in reality that has been cancelled due to what. And, but at least we get ourselves the live event, so at least we got that at least. So, yeah, because I'd like to hear your thoughts about, are you excited for the forms of the E3 this year? Because surely I am, as I said earlier. Alright, so the first minigame we have is Rumble Fumble. Probably one of my least favorite minigames though. Find the Shy Guys hiding under the buckets. The first player to find 3 Shy Guys wins. And, basically, if you couldn't tell from the title of this minigame, basically the main feature of this minigame is the rumble function, and if you manage able to get your rumble function turned on, then basically you can able to judge of if your controller starts vibrating if you get, closer to one of those buckets. So yeah, that's how this minigame works, even though it's kind of random though sometimes, because you never know until when you're able to find those Fly Guys, or Shy Guys to be more specifically, although I like to call them Fly Guys because they have propellers on them, so, because you get the idea if you're following through our Let's Plays of the past Mario Party Let's Plays, since, Mario Party 1, even though technically likely a Mecha Fly Guy to be more specifically, so... yeah, that's pretty much about it in terms of Rumble Fumble, but it's just that, well, they managed to continue that tradition with that Rumble feature with that controller ever since in Mario Party 4, at least ever since in Cliffhangers, and I think that's about it. Even though when it comes to Mario Party 5, with those Rumble-based minigames, I think Rumble Fumble is actually my least favorite, so, because you can't really judge of how the fact that you can't really tell which one's which, because they're quite well hidden, and especially noticeable when every time when you replay that minigame, it gets random every time, so yeah, I just want to classify that. So the main emphasis on this game, as you can see, is these capsules. Remember the forms of the actual items from the likes of Mario Party 2, 3, and 4, that basically once again you use items, whilst in this game this time around though, it's been replaced by capsules, even though it kind of does the same treatment once we get into Mario Party 6 and 7, that thankfully it's got retold them a bit when we get into Mario Party 6 and 7, because, well, as you can tell, that you can either use the capsule by yourself, or you can able to place it in some different spaces elsewhere. Like, for instance, as you can tell, I've got myself my mushroom capsule, and to get capsules in this game though, you have to meet up with this particular capsule machine, and basically it's all predetermined by random, by the way, so thankfully it's for free. However, what makes things a little bit of a downside is the fact that these capsules you're about to be using cost coins. And because of that though, that can get a bit of annoying at times if you really want to get yourselves the biggest dice rolls that you can possibly think of, which we'll talk more about that in a second, because here we go on to 2 vs 2 minigame, ID UFO. So let's see how this minigame is all about then, huh? Find the panels that match the 2 UFOs. You and your teammate must then do a ground pound on both panels at the same time. So you have to able to do some sort of like a syncing between, ground pounds in particular. It's sort of similar to the Great Deflate from the likes of Mario Party 4, except rather than just dealing with the forms of continuous ground pounds on that specific inflatable thing, but instead now we're able to deal with, well, just trying to match up the panels and stuff like that with those UFOs, as you can see. So, but yeah, there's not much else I can say in terms of this minigame in general, even though despite the fact that I always get confused at one point, just because I always get a little bit visually distracted when it comes to those specific different shapes of UFOs. Although, mind you, because of how the fact that it has been a long while since I actually touched this game, because even then I was just double checking. I think the last time I actually played this game was actually like last year or so, because I actually did manage to double check my progression to see how far I'm into the game when it comes to 100%ing it, but I think I actually lost count of what progression I was in, so forgive me on that specific stuff right there, and also I somehow lost this minigame just because my teammate is actually pretty slow. So, but again, this is all normal by the way, so don't expect things to be well, extremely tough or difficult or anything else like that, so... And, yeah, let's get to the forms of the capsule system in Mario Party 5. Basically, as I said before, you get capsules for free thanks to the forms of the capsule machine that, sometimes they are everywhere in terms of some boards. To be more specifically, for example, in the Toy Dream, it does manage to contain, like, 3 vending machines. To be more specifically, the capsule machines. And, well, again, it's all random, by the way, so if you want to get the mushroom capsule, well, tough luck, because you have to deal with the forms of some luck elements to it. And, also, as I said before, that, usually, relatively speaking, the only downside with those capsules is that, well, aside from the fact that you can able to actually toss those capsules in any space where else, to be more specifically, for example, Wario is going to toss his, capsule all the way right next to where the DK space is, and basically that particular capsule is becoming a little bit more of a mushroom-shaped kind of event, which we'll talk more about that once we get into the forms of, well, some more capsules that we'd like to discuss on. So, but again, the only downside to this particular capsule system is that, aside from the fact that if you try to use it by your own, basically it costs coins. But also there's going to be tons, I mean a lot of animation cinematics every time if you land on capsule spaces, or to be more specifically, if you try to use those capsules by yourself. So, yeah, that's something worth noting about. So, Popstar Piranhas. Find the one piranha plant that's dancing differently from the others. Whoever answers correctly the most times wins. So basically you have to press either A, B, X, Y, or R button if you manage to able to guess which one is the correct, well, a different dancer and stuff like that. So you have to pay attention to this though, before you're able to actually get, like, well, approximately 3 points or something. So, have I got this right? Oh, got it right. Top notch for my skills. Alright, so let's see here. I'm guessing, Y? Oh, no, wait. Did I press it? Okay, I just pressed the A button, so I keep thinking of something else then. This gets pretty crazy, though. Oh, I know this one. It's definitely B. Why? Because I can definitely tell what that is. So, there we go. Wow, looks like 3 players have won except Mini Bowser or Koopa Kid if you're an American player. So, yeah, that's something worth noting about. So, oh, and also another thing as well is the fact that, speaking of the capsule system, they do manage to have sometimes their different colors onto them. Like, for instance, for example, that since after I still managed to go myself my mushroom capsule, that capsule's color was actually green, which represents either warping or just a mushroom space in general, which basically this means you're able to obtain the mushroom by yourself or just trying to land on it. And also that Mini Bowser just managed to toss in the yellow colored capsule known as the Koopa Bank capsule, and basically this actually is more accurately a throwback to the bank space from the likes of both Mario Party 2 and Mario Party 3. Or technically not so much in Mario Party 4, just because in Mario Party 4, that's basically in the Koopa Seaside Sorority, basically it only happens likely in 2 different spots, and you have to, like, always have to force to pay, well, 5 coins and all that stuff once you bypass that spot. And if you land on a happening space, then you're pretty much going to take away coins, which is make matters even much more devastating and plus a little bit annoying at the same time. But anyways, let's go and use this mushroom capsule that I'm using, and I got ourselves a pretty good roll. And yeah, by the way, the mushroom acts out very similar to Mario Party 2 and Mario Party 3, as well as the Mega Mushroom from Mario Party 4. That you're able to actually access to 2 dice blocks, and if you manage to roll high enough, then you would able to actually just to go even further. Even though the only drawback to this though is that unlike Mario Party 4, that you don't become Mega Form and trying to flatten anyone, so and get coins in the process. So that might be the only missing factor about it, but that's okay, because either way though, at least that's a good thing that you're no longer going to be skipping those events entirely. So yeah, that's something worth noting about. And by the way, we got ourselves the Hammer Bro capsule, which I believe what that does is that if you land on it, you're able to actually take 10 coins away from that Hammer Bro. So you have to be very careful with that, that space. So there we go, there's my first purchase of the star in Mario Party 5. And the next star space is right next to that specific capsule machine. So, yeah, there's something worth noting about. Oh, what's this? It's Kamek. Basically, he's trying to shuffle those, anyone else's capsules around, so, that's basically what he does. Although, mind you, that, thankfully it gets, fixed when it comes to the forms of the capsule / orb system when it comes to Mario Party 6 and 7, because thankfully, unlike this game in particular, if you're trying to place any capsules on any space, you can't really tell who managed to able to place the actual capsule on that space, and then most of the time you never know who might have done it. Whilst thankfully in Mario Party 6 and 7, they managed to able to give us the character icons, and that way it should able to give us any track of whoever placed their own orbs, or yeah, just orbs in general to be more precise. So, but then again, we'll let someone else talk more about that whenever we get onto Mario Party 6 this autumn, so... Oh, we have ourselves the first DK space, whoever lands on it. To be more specifically, Wario. So yeah, sometimes it can be divided into 3 events, such as for instance, one of them is DK minigame, and basically everyone's going to be playing a DK minigame while doing so, and before we do this, much like the lucky minigame roulette thing from Mario Party 4, it predetermines of how much amount of those coins we're able to, like, multiply by up to. So in this case we have ×3, so we're able to get triple amount of coins. So break the barrels and collect as many bananas as you can. So yeah, basically the minigame is called Banana Punch. Basically this minigame is pretty simple, is you have to punch those barrels and then grab some more bananas along the way. So yeah, that's basically how this goes. In fact, it will continue that tradition with those DK space minigames until Mario Party 6 and also Mario Party 7 and even one of them in Mario Party 9, but sadly not Mario Party 8 because it's been replaced by something else. So, and as you can see, I've got about 14 coins, so I can't really tell how much coins I might get from that particular minigame though. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the DK minigames might not count as the minigame star or something, even though it has been a long while since I actually did manage to play this game from time to time, so forgive me if I'm able to actually make several mistakes there. So yeah, that's how it usually is for this point. So, talking of which though, actually, in regards to the forms of Mario Party 5 as a whole, most people seem to complain about the fact that this is one of their weakest GameCube Mario Party games. I have no idea why. Is it because of the forms of how slow this game can be? Or to be more specifically, that since, as you can see on screen, on that capture recording, they notice I'm still playing this on the PAL GameCube because of region locked, and because of that though, the thing is that the game itself will actually run a lot slower than the forms of how it does it on the NTSC counterparts. Well, I'll get into more details about this later because we have another new minigame we are playing, Submarathon. This might be interesting though. Race your submarine to the finish line. One character uses the lever while the other one rests. Whoever finishes first wins. So basically you have to press L and R simultaneously to accelerate, and then press Y to switch places, and then if you're in the resting plane, you can able to actually press the A button to let the actual eyes blinks. So yeah, it's a nice touch, I suppose. I'm alright with this minigame, even though some people might find this a bit frustrating with this minigame at first, even though, like, somehow, whenever I managed able to actually realize about something is that this is actually my first ever Mario Party game I've actually played in my whole entire life. Like, this is actually the first one of them, despite how most people found this to be a mixed bag Mario Party game, just because, well, I'll get into more details as soon as we get into the next turn. But, yeah, that was before when I managed to able to go Mario Party 6, and before I got Mario Party 4, and after that before that I've got, well, I've got Mario Party 8, and 7, and 1, 2, and 3, even though despite the fact that back in the day I didn't actually got Mario Party 1 Day 1 and Mario Party 2 Day 1, and also Mario Party 3, just because you know how the fact that with, Mario Party 3 was actually super expensive at the time, so, yeah, but at least I still managed to able to still play Mario Party 3 from time to time, so, anyway though. So yeah, about with the forms of how the fact though why this game has got mixed reception compared to the past 4 Mario Party games. Mainly it's because of how the fact that maybe due to the fact that maybe it's because basically it's the fact that I'm pretty sure it's mainly because of the forms of it might be seems a bit slow at points, most notably because of too much emphasis on cinematic cutscenes or something like that. Like every time when you land on the capsule space, or even use the capsule to your own, and as a result, it might take a really long time to finish up the board. And also the capsule system might be a bit so long and drawn out, like, yeah, that pretty much summed up is from there. And sometimes the boards might take forever to finish just because of all these stuff as I mentioned earlier, so, you gotta be kidding me. I just always get 1. Oh, what's this? We got ourselves the hidden block. Although, unlike in the forms of how it does it on Mario Party 2 and Mario Party 3 and Mario Party 4, you no longer get yourselves a star if you manage to find the hidden block. So what we get instead is basically just 10 coins, and that's pretty much about it. So it's no longer going to be 20 coins. Well, it wasn't until when Super Mario Party came around for the Nintendo Switch, then basically it'll bring back the star in the actual hidden blocks. So, well, this time around though, in Super Mario Party though, it's all about timing with that little roulette thing, so at least that's something is usually worth that in mind, so. Alright, Dodge Bomb. I'm not a big fan of this minigame though, but at least we'll show this off anyway. So, pick up and throw bombs at your opponents while avoiding the ones being thrown at you. The last one standing wins. So, yeah, basically you have to grab the bomb and, well, be the last one surviving is, well, wins the game. So, in fact, my only problem with this dodge bomb, it extends from the fact that, well, I'm presuming the minigame will be over very, very quickly. It's kind of reminds me of one of those minigames in Mario Party 2, in the battle minigames though. I think it's like bumper balloon cars, because, well, at least in that game, that usually utilizes the actual, the mini card thing, that you can able to actually just let those opponents get being knocked out if you manage to touch the actual balloons, like only one of them per se. Whilst the forms of this particular minigame, Dodge Bomb, is pretty similar, except rather than just utilizing the actual carter kind of stuff, unlike Mario Party 2, that usually you walk around and basically you have to grab the bomb, and then hopefully, God forbid, not to get exploded. So, yeah, that pretty much summed up is from that part. So, yeah, anyway, another thing is worth noting for is the fact that sometimes the actual, the capsule system might be a bit too chaotic for most of you all, especially noticeable because I already said this before, that until when it gets to the point until Mario Party 6 and Mario Party 7, that, the item system, in this case the orb system, will be a hell of a lot more better than the forms of how it does it on the capsule system, even though, mind you, that's, well, it's kind of hard to explain on this sometimes, because either way, though, it has been a couple of days since I actually did manage to come back into this game, because I'm used to with, playing other games for the time being, to be more specifically Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, on online racing and stuff like that on my Nintendo Switch, just in case before something else will truly be special happening until specifically when it gets to this year's E3 on the digital event, I should say. So even then, that should be pretty much hyped as long as we could able to actually get very lucky if the next Mario Kart game will happen. So anyway. Although the actual main goal in Mario Party 5 remains the same as before, just like in the previous games, is that you still need to able to get the star, and then it costs about 20 coins, so not much else has changed from there. Well, until when it gets to the point until Mario Party 6, that some of these rules on certain boards might change up a little bit, even though the actual goal, the ultimate goal, remains the same, so yeah, it's gonna have to grab the stars, and then whoever grabs the most stars by the end of the board will win the actual board. So, yeah, there's not much else to say about this for the most part. Alright, so I'm gonna be by myself in Gladiator. This minigame is kind of fun though, because even then though, I'm going to be doing a balancing ball kind of syndrome. One player rides a ball and tries to run over the other 3. If you're running, you try not to get squished. So, and also, for some consideration, you also need to avoid those Monty moles if you're in a team of 3, because otherwise you get tripped. So, that's something you need to keep an eye out for. But I actually do like this minigame because it's kind of fun though, honestly. So even then though, because you ended up in a circular arena, and basically you were able to actually just try to flatten 3 of these players. So you can able to actually just, well, at least you can able to actually do it like very easy, such as I managed to almost barely touch any of those players. So at least that's something, alright? So, another thing is worth knowing to talk about is that, basically, I have a lot of issues with my GameCube recently. I think it's mainly because of how the fact that, well, I was gonna able to do some parts of Mario Party 5's recording session so far, which it still managed to go pretty well, but it wasn't until my GameCube decides to go a bit more hiccupy recently, mainly due to the forms of the laser and stuff like that. Although, luckily though, the game still runs very well, but unfortunately though, there might be a few rare occasions where my GameCube decides to go a little bit more hiccupy today, which I will try to fix that at some point, but God knows when, because even then though, at least it still works just fine though, so... And look, we actually got ourselves the actual happening space. So, since that the next star space is now going to be on the top portion of the train station, I might as well hop onto the train. And hopefully trying to get some coins in the process too. So yeah, with this happening, as I said before, and also you saw that ever since the very beginning, since how Wario did manage to land in there first, so at least we can able to expect, we can able to just jump for, you know, trying to obtain coins and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not much that big of a deal with this particular event. So, but at least I got myself 20 coins, so that'll actually boost me up for getting the actual coin star. And speaking of bonus stars, is that basically the bonus stars remains the same. You still got the minigame star, and you still got the coin star, and of course you still got the happening star. So yeah, it's not much different from there. Although this will be the final time we're going to be seeing the coin star in action in terms of our the Mario Party marathon of Let's Plays, because it wasn't until whenever we get onto Mario Party 6, as well as Mario Party 7. And even Mario Party 8, that most of those bonus stars will be different. So, especially noticeable whenever we get on to Mario Party 6, well, it actually replaces the coin star into something else. So, anyway, handy hoppers. Jump over the bar as many times as you can. One player rotates the lever to turn the bar, and the other player jumps. So basically, since I'm on the right side, I'm gonna be doing with the actual the lever, whilst if there's a teammate of mine that's on the left side of this extraction screen, basically he'll be the only one to jump. So yeah, that's not much else I can say. Think of like hot rope jump, except the fact that, well, nowhere near as epic, but at least you can able to see some cool little moving hands, as you can see in the background, just trying to able to waving up and down and stuff like that, which I will say, it does look, kind of looks impressive when it comes to certain environments and stuff like that, which I'm pretty sure that Tiana has already mentioned about this specific stuff ever since in Mario Party 4, that what makes the Hudson Soft Mario Party titles so unique is that most of these environments are new and unique, whilst compared to the forms of the ND Cube Mario Party titles, they've gone like strictly to the forms of just generic themes that we've seen since the new Super Mario Bros. Games, which I don't honestly mind it, but it's just the fact that it might be feels a bit too lacking in, well, originality in this case. Well, but that's just me anyway, so... You know, with that coin block, as far as what... I think that was Mini Bowser got it, even though I wasn't paying attention. But there's also another capsule called the coin block, which basically, if you manage to use it for yourself, not only does it take away 5 coins, but exponentially, you will get 5 coins back. But in addition to able to having ourselves even 5 more coins, so expecting that you weren't able to get 10 coins from that coin block. So unless if someone lands on it though, they obviously will get the 10 coins. So yeah, that's something worth to talk about. So alright, so since the chemic has been recently shoveled the I've got the piranha plant. That might be the a good capsule to have, but it's just the fact that unfortunately for this game, oh sweet, I've got myself a coin block. So that means I get 10 more coins. How's that for that? So, unfortunately though for the piranha plant though, in this game in particular, although it might be seems predetermined by the forms of some good and also some bad, most notably because if you use it on your own, basically you'll risk yourself because otherwise you'll lose half of your coins. Yes, before when Mario Party 9 was a thing, and especially noticeable with Mario Party 10 also a thing, that basically if you manage to able to get into a dangerous hazard or something, basically you lose half of your portions of some items. Well, to be more specifically 9 and 10 for the mini stars, whilst in here you lose half of your coins. Although thankfully whenever we get on to Mario Party 6, that, as I said before, that the orb system slash the item system will able to get retooled a bit. So, yeah, be prepared for that until at some point until, well, let's just say until September or something. Because, either way though, out of all the actual Let's Plays we're going to be doing so far, in terms of the, well, the Hudson Soft Mario Party games we're about to be doing, this one might actually be the longest so far. Well, at least we'll find out and during at some point in the rest of the summer. To be more specifically with those boards, and also some of these side modes, and I might also include a little bit on story mode, just because the actual gameplay and story mode in this game is actually a lot different in comparison to the usual gameplay style that we all know and love. But we'll talk more about that once we're able to actually get into the other modes throughout the entire Let's Play. So, Mario Mix. This minigame is pretty awesome though, because either way though, it's just basically like a battle royale kind of minigame. So, fight in a battle arena setting using vehicles to fire back and forth. Whoever is first to destroy the a position first, so, or wins, sorry. I just get a little bit confused right now, but either way though, let's begin. Even though sometimes this minigame does manage to take place in 3 different environments, like I think in this one is actually I would say for saying it's like Dark City or something, or Sky City or something, even though it has been quite a long time since I actually did manage to play this game, because I know for the fact that I'm used to playing with a lot better Mario Party games than this. I don't know, I just had some mixed feelings with this particular game as a result, because there are some boards that are kind of cool, and I think I will say though is the fact that the boards design in this game is actually a lot more details this time around, because unlike in Mario Party 4, that basically it just gets like a very well, the environment itself does look nice though. However though, the actual boards design, it feels a bit, I don't know, little bit bland. Like, to be more specifically, you always have to be forced to able to walk on this little electronic little pathway. I'm presuming so anyway. And yeah, it doesn't feel that much exciting though. Although, to be fair, in Mario Party 3, that one thing I'll give that the boards design in Mario Party 3 some credit for, at least they did manage to able to do something different with its style. Because basically in that particular game, does utilize the paper aesthetics and all that stuff though, which again reminds me of the Paper Mario games for sure. Well, to be more specifically, Paper Mario for the Nintendo 64. But aside from that though, you still ended up walking for the actual main, like, pathways and stuff like that, so anyway, but thankfully in Mario Party 5 and 6 and 7 and even 8, that you can able to actually go through, traverse through space to space, while you're able to actually walk around in the entire environment, so no need to worry about the actual weird looking pathway obstacle and stuff like that. Oh wow, what a coincidence. I might actually felt pretty lucky at this point. Like basically that one star space is now back into the exact same place as in the forms of whenever we start this board up. And also to top it all off, I actually got the hidden block contains 10 coins, so how lucky am I? which is top-notch, I have to say. Oh, and there's also another happening space as what Warrior just managed to bypass. Basically, it just knocks you into the bottom portion of the actual board, so you can't able to actually go to the train station, so you always have to force to go to a different path and what have you. So, at least that's something you can able to actually noticing this. So, anyways, let's see what Peach is gonna get. Uh-oh. We got ourselves this obscure capsule, which appears to be by the forms of the Bowser capsule. Yeah, if someone managed able to get the Bowser capsule, depending on random, that's basically if someone gets it from the capsule machine, basically Bowser will be forced to able to place the Bowser's capsule on any other red spaces. Like, we actually got ourselves another Bowser space in a board so far. So, yeah, that might be, seems a little bit of an unfortunate thing to notice. Especially noticeable that, yeah, there might be some unfortunate news, or the most unfortunate events might happen. So, yeah, that's pretty much summed up as from there. So, anyways, next minigame we have is Ground Pound Down. I actually do like this minigame though, because it feels a bit more exhilarating and stuff like that. Do ground pounds to break the blocks and move down. Whoever gets to the water first wins. So basically it's almost like a race kind of minigame. So yeah, not much else to tell for this point. So anyways, let's dive right in. And also another thing is worth noting for this point as well is that I believe specifically recently that Maxi is now pretty much guaranteed that although he will be still able to continue things on in his Let's Play of well, let's just say Wario Land 2 recently today, and because of this though, that he just want to get that game finished before we move on to the next, well, he only just managed to get started basically, so even then though I have no words to able to, you know, just try to talk about, just because even then though, I'm sure that Maxi has already mentioned about this already, so even though originally he was gonna able to do this, but I might as well be in charge instead, so because, you know, I am the awesome and satisfying armadillo person, so even then though, I might as well do that. Although I don't know if some toy sales can able to do Mario Party 6, although I'm pretty sure that Mickey used to done Mario Party 6 back in the day, but we'll see what happens during at some point later on throughout the year, so yeah, that's something's worth noting about. Alright, so it looks like I'm now on my coin star record within 145 coins. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on grabbing a lot of coins in this game this time around, thanks to the forms of a lot of events happening, such as, for instance, the, well, obviously the DK minigame, of course, and also some occasional hidden blocks, which obviously contains 10 coins as opposed to 20, and also some different happening events, which does manage to bring us something interesting to the table, and all the other jazz. So, oh, by the way, the dual capsule right there, that particular dual thing does make a return ever since in Mario Party 2 and Mario Party 3, while unless if you're able to try to place the dual capsule in any other spaces. So, for instance, if you try to place the dual capsule on any other spaces, it doesn't matter if it's in either blue or red. The only thing is worth noting for is that you can't place the capsules in the DK space or Bowser spaces, and even especially noticeable with, do I already mention about the happening spaces? I'm pretty sure I didn't, or DK space, and you name it. So yeah, you can't place those capsules in those spaces in particular, the happening spaces, the DK spaces, and the Bowser spaces. Only place them in any blue spaces or red spaces, so yeah, that's something worth noting about. Alright, Kamek, let's see what you're gonna do this time. And I just noticed something, is the fact that the star space at the moment right now is actually back at the same place again. Like, ever since whenever I managed to got this star for the first time in Mario Party 5. That's pretty insane. But anyway, aside from that though, the dual space, if you manage to create one, it functions the same thing as, well, it's kind of hard to explain about it sometimes, because even then, I know it has been, you know, a couple of days since I actually played this, so I will try to able to actually just make things a little bit clearer. But, yeah, trying to duel against with someone does make a return ever since in Mario Party 2 and 3. That's, basically, once again, you're able to duel someone in, well, for coins and stuff like that. But now with a new addition is the fact that you can now able to actually duel someone with stars. So, even though, mind you, that you can only duel against with one of those players for 2 stars, or to be more specifically, 1 star for each player. So, even then, we'll show that off at some point whenever we able to see the first duel minigame in this Let's Play. So, but either way though, let's move on to the next minigame, which is Will Flower. This mod might actually be pretty simple and self-explanatory, and if I remember correctly, it's a button mashing minigame. Use the power of your mind to bring the flower back to health. First one to revive the flower wins. So basically, yeah, it's how to do a lot of button mashing, and basically, the more you do it, then yeah, you're just gonna have to able to get yourselves as fastest time possible. Alright, so here we go. Button mashing time, here we go. Oh, this does remind me of a domination minigame from Mario Party 4, but either way though, it knows what it is with certain minigames like this. And look at that, in addition to able to win a minigame, my first new record in Mario Party 5. Awesome stuff. It's actually in the earlier on throughout the Let's Play too, which is awesome, because unlike the past Mario Party Let's Plays, that seems to be more specifically, we only got the new record jingle thing ever since likely at the very end of these parts.